So remind me never to book a Chessington VIP event on a Friday. Someone decided to crash on the M25. I was checking the the drive times all day when I was on my way to work. When I was at work on my way here, I was checking it like 50 minutes, 44 minutes. I finished work at 4, and then it's struck to an hour. Basically, I'm here for the John Wardley event. I just had 4 goes on Vampire, which was great. Unfortunately, the extended park closed till 6, so they had to shut the Vampire early. So that's a shame for a normal day guest, but I appreciate it. They got this. This is a very strict timed event. It's still going around now, which is great.
What, for delivery or storage?
It's not going up the first lift. I should have clarified that. I'm just here. We're a bit of space, but basically we get a meal included. We just got our time on Vampire. Got a photo of John Wardley in the station, which was really cool. I'm glad I did that. My mate Jared actually rode it with John Wardley. I was sat behind, so there's another photo where I'm sort of in the corner with it, which I find quite cool. We then get dinner. Apparently there's going to be a little quiz. Let's get rid of this focus. And then we get behind the scenes in the station with John Wardley. We get a lift till 2 walk. I'm allowed my phone for that, but I don't think I'm allowed this camera, so I'll have to see. And then we get behind the scenes of Tomb Blaster as well, which is great. So I'm going to put it all together, get as much clips as I can for you guys, and get some content. So dinner is included. We've got the Vampire Burger, which is a limited edition one with the black bun. Might regret that later. There's also a donut, which I currently got in my bag. I do apologise. My universal bag. Here it is. Vampire 35 donut, which is lovely. And I also paid for this. So Windsor and Eaton Brewery beer, Vampire 35. So I got 2 of them. They're limited to 1,000 and they're numbered. So one's going to be to drink and one's going to be to keep. So cheers to that.
Closed, obviously. So the idea, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit, and I will talk to you more if soon. I've got a couple of items to give away. So the easiest way is everyone knows a lot about the Vampire, especially if I said to you, where in the world can you still ride an original carriage from the Vampire ride? Everybody knows, so it's pointless asking that question. Sorry. There is one original Vampire carriage still in circulation. It's in Canada's Wonderland. We gave it away to that park in about 2008. They needed a spare one. They didn't have anywhere to go. Arrow didn't exist anymore, so they gave it our last one. We didn't keep anything else really. Everything was just disposed of when the Vacona system came along. We started to just use their stuff. Unfortunately, and now it's very valuable. So at the moment there's an auction online for an original aerodynamic seat pad. It was found in the trees behind the two. Someone must have thrown it out years ago, and it's now online as an auction if you'd like to bid on that. But the items I've got today we're going to give away for free. So the easiest way is to do 50-50 questions. I can't ask you a question and ask the exact value because too many people may know that answer. So I've got a few easy questions. So the easiest way is, first one is this little item here. I'm going to give you 2 answers. You then decide what you think it is, and I'll tell you how I need to know. So do you think this is, it's off the original Vampire train from last year, it's now in the bin, we can get rid of them, we can use them. So is it an anti-rollback or a chain pickup guide? If you think it's an anti-rollback, stand up. If you think it's a chain dog, sit down.
I'll stand up just to break the ice.
Okay, so it's a chain dog. So everyone's sitting down is into the next round. So what I'm going to do now, the person that gets closest to this next question, I'll walk around quickly, you can have a quick feel of it. How much does it weigh? Whoever gets closest will take it home with them. Have a quick feel.
Oh no.
Was it chain dog pickup?
The very last one we have left. So if you keep passing this round, this one is an easy one. Just keep shouting. Whoever gets the answer the closest, I'll give the wheel to instantly. How much does the Vampire current train weigh in tons? 12. Just keep shouting.
60. 15.
So there's 60 people at this event, so we've been split into 3 groups. They're just doing our groups now. We're grabbing a high vis for the event. I'm number 54, which is what he's just calling. So I'm number 54, we're going to head out. Split into our groups of 20 just to make it easier, and you get a certain amount of time at each event. That's Vampire with John Wardley in the station, Lift 2 on Vampire, and a Tomb Blaster behind the scenes tour, which is going to be really interesting for me because I've not done that before, except EVACs. So see you guys over there and I'll keep you updated.
As a dark ride, Terror Tomb was scary. It was actively like a scary ride. Yeah. Which wasn't really what Chesterton was aiming for. Obviously, they're moving towards being more like a children's theme park. Yeah. And that was around the sort of time we got rid of some rides like Ramsay's Revenge, that sort of stuff. Close to the track. You can carry that. I actually contacted, I dropped my phone, it wasn't this one, the final scene we just went through, I dropped my phone off the side of that when we were first like coming down, and we came in here to do some test runs, and walked around. I pressed the picture where I stood up against one of these, and it just dropped all the way to the floor, really hard, in front of an engineer, but I mean luckily there were steps that went down, so I could sort it, but it was a terrible time. So, our starting point was just round this corner, and then I'm going to talk about this side. At the very start of the scene. Abdab's figure like clinging onto it because he was trying to get the, you can't really see it from where you are, the jewel that's on the dog's paw. That was his aim to go and, to get it. So he was like clinging onto it and it like wobbles and stuff on the rides on. Obviously we've got all the scene stuff on. So, yeah, wonderful. Okay, should we start making our way down? Yeah, this is obviously, we've got one of our car stopped here, so it's quite a big drop, if it wasn't stop. But if anything with a picture, I highly recommend it. Maybe one of these middle ones. What you can do is you can come in this row. I'm going to ask you not to go in the front row. If you want to come in this row, sorry, we'll just walk past you. This one might be even better. You can get a whole picture of you. Feel free to hold it, will wobble a little bit. Feel free to hold up the guns and shoot it. You guys all want to have a gun. We have our lovely train here. These buttons on the back are used by both rides and engineering. These first two are used by rides. It's bar close and bar release. Obviously, does what it says. This opens the bars. This closes the bars. This releases the bars. These two are engineering. Bar reset and then ride launch. There's also an emergency stop there as well. There's also a screen which isn't really used. It just comes up with messages every now and again. But a really fun fact is that the engineers, they like park the trains at like when the ride's done at night. They park them up and they drive them into the engineering workshop. What they'll do is they'll stand on the back bit here and then press these buttons and they'll like park them like little cars. Yeah, really fun fact. I'm thinking, I don't know how soon we are at our group. Some slow walking down there. Hey. Oh! Hey. I thought we were in the op box. That was scary. I knew I'd hear you. Oh my god, you're very quiet. I know. I was really like how close together the two scenes were. So, you know what? I'm not about. You want to look up. You can see.
If you head a bit further down, Beth, you can see it.
Can you?
Yeah. So if you head like towards the front, like just the back front and straight.
So you probably the expert first. Oh yeah, you can see these. Well, yeah, this is the engineering workshop behind there. Be careful when you're walking across the bridge because the track is there. of them on here, and then Bobby can take it from there. Shout.
I will ask.
We're not sure. That's fine.
Okay. There it is.
This is the rolling ball, or the ball.
The ball.
Obviously it used to roll, and like it was rolling above you, it no longer does.
When did it stop?
I don't know, when did it stop?
I believe. I don't think it's worked since I've been here. So
Oh, really?
I think 2022 was the last.
Very fun. First proper seed of our life. The spiders in it doesn't really make sense because it's a snake, but
Snakes.
So it used to be that Abdel would be inside the wall and then spin round, and he would also pop out to the sarcophagus, and then mummy dad would be holding the jewel that he was trying to get.
Wasn't he very dead when he came out of the sarcophagus? I think that was the idea.
Yeah, definitely. This is definitely a scene where I honestly don't think I'd ever. I feel like I've never even seen it properly until when the lights were off. Very interesting to look at. But yeah, the whole rotation of beds is all the original one used in Terra Team.
So cool.
Yeah. I like it. Big skeleton heads.
Wow.
Honestly, I think this might be one of the scariest aspects of the whole thing. The fact that he's moving like a machete.
Yeah.
It's got these bright eyes that follow you, it's horrible. And we are pretty much back where we started, guys. We'll walk back to the start of the
So we've been round all the scenes. And we're just walking back.
very nearly at the end of our big two-last adventure. Any questions before we leave? From me or Bobby? Oh, that means I've given some really good facts.
So as you can tell, it's dark. It's, oh, let me check my watch. Nearly 8:45. They did say this experience would end at 10:30. We've just finished our Tomb Blaster walk around, basically the whole ride area, except for the maintenance bay. I would love to have seen in the maintenance bay, but really cool seeing the whole of Tomb Blaster. We've still got a Vampire Lift Hill 2 walk in the dark, so I'm going to get some awesome photos for you guys. Maybe not so much video content because we have to be in our cases, so I'm using my phone, and we've got the station as well. But it's really cool getting to see around Tomb Blaster, and what they said is we're the first trial group to do this, so there's never been a group to do Tomb Blaster, and because we're the first of the three, we're the first ones to do that out. It will become its own experience as well. So yeah, it is going to become a single thing you can purchase to do a Tomb Blaster behind the scenes. They packaged it with this, and we were sort of like a trial. So that was a great little thing. Got loads of clips for you guys. I'm only going to put some in this vlog. The rest we're going into its own video on Explorer Central Videos. That's with an X on my other YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe to that. That's where my professional stuff is going. So we're just heading through the vampire shop. Our group, our second bit is in the station, which is where John Wardley is. So we're going to get a talk. And then lift 2 is our last bit. And as you saw, it's night, so we're going to get a very different experience going up there. Of course, the park had extended hours today till 6. That in the event was pushed back a bit, but really well organised so far. It feels really weird and eerie to be here. The park's shut. You won't be able to see much, but that's Vampire's queue, and the lift 1's over there. So yeah, I'll get you some more footage running the station. Hopefully, the only thing again, not allowed to take any pictures or videos of the operating cabin. So Tomb Blaster, we did get to see it, how it all worked, but I wasn't allowed to show you guys. So I'll show you what I can from the station, and hopefully if we can walk round, I'm hoping to walk round to the transfer track and things like that, which I've never done before.
Station. You're more than welcome to use this time to ask Amazing John any questions you have, and then what we can do is walk around and see some other areas, and feel free to take any photos. We just ask that you avoid the hot box.
Examine the train and see how it all works. If you've got any questions, Sam over there can, any technical questions, he can answer any questions you've got us to how the brakes work, how good and sophisticated, because you whiz past this thing in a matter of a few seconds. And I thought, well, we could develop this a bit further, so I built an animated figure of a country and western singer playing the guitar. And at that point in time, only Disney were doing sophisticated animated figures, and they were very secretive about how they worked. Wouldn't let anybody know how they, and what's more, they cost a fortune. And this figure that I built, which was pneumatic in actual fact, it's on that it was pneumatic, was a fraction of the price. So it eventually found its way onto a television program that was very popular in the 70s and 80s called 2000. And after it was on Tomorrow's World, the phone never stopped ringing. And one of the phone calls was from a rather enigmatic company that wouldn't admit who they were. And they said, we can't tell you who we are, but we've done rather well for the last 200 years with static figures, and we're thinking of making them move. Would you be interested in working with us? And I said yes. So they came down and they saw the figure. And once they'd seen the figure, they admitted who they were. And it was Ian Hansen, who was head of Madame Tussauds Studios. And the entire board of Madame Tussauds, Michael Herbert, who was chief executive, all of Madame Tussauds, and they saw it. And I said, well, what's your interest? What's your interest? And they said, well, we've just signed the lease for a brand new exhibition in Windsor, opposite Windsor Castle, the Windsor Railway Station, and we're building an exhibition to celebrate Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee. And we want to, the finale of the exhibition that people go through would be an animated show, Queen Victoria and Disraeli and also all moving. Would you be interested in making this work? So I said yes. So we did the show, and it was very successful. And I was at a meeting in Madame Tussauds, and a guy called Graham Jackson, who was responsible for all the non-wax exhibitions, which consisted of Warwick Castle, Woking Hole Caves, and Chessington Zoo. And he said to me, I've heard you built some rides for amusement parks. Would you go to Chessington to sort out the fun fair in the circus? So I came up today, and what I saw was very nice at the zoo, and there was a traditional little fun fair with a dodgem and a waltzer and a helter-skelter and a ghost train, and then there was a nice little circus, fine, but all rather ordinary and nothing that people couldn't see to their local village green. So I thought, I don't think the fortunes of Chessington Zoo could be turned around just by replacing a few traditional amusement rides with something a bit bigger and better. And Pearson, who owned Madame Tussauds, who owned Chessington, was saying, either this, you've got to turn the fortunes of Chessington Zoo around. It's losing money, And if you don't sort it out, we're going to sell the land for development, for housing development. Close the park, close the zoo, sell it. So sort it out before we sell it. So I wrote them a letter after I'd been here saying, I don't think the answer really is just sorting out the fun fair and the circus. You need a much bigger, grander scheme. And Graham Jackson, when she's got the socks smallest, wrote back to me saying, thank you very much, you don't call us, we call you. And that I thought was the end of the matter. But then Graham retired. The following year, a guy called Ray Barrett contacted me and said, I'm the new director responsible for one of the sorts of non-wax attractions. I found this letter in the filing cabinet from him, and reading between the lines, I think you might have some ideas. And there's jumping onto the storage track, because there's a transfer track there, so the train will be brought in, the track will slide across, and it will go onto the transfer track, and then it joined the main circuit with a tumble track, which we'll show you in a minute, which got it back on the pole. But since the Vekoma trains were put on, that transfer track was abandoned. And now the way the trains have got off the track is they're brought into the station, the tumble track turns over, and the train is then winched back into the workshop, and the workshop is through there, where they've got all the machinery to maintain it. You'll get a nice photograph if you go back out there and photograph in. That's
earlier, there's always something. Very small this time, unfortunately. This is a side wheel spring off the train. Very small. Not as good as a wheel on a pickup dog, but I'll give it away to the first person. I'm going to start on there and go round. Tell me, hopefully you've not bumped into the other two groups because the answer's the same. How many are there on one train? Have a quick guess. Number between whatever you like.
30.
40.
72.
48.
84.
24.
12.
Yeah, I was trying to think in terms of the rows.
No, unfortunately not, but someone did get it right. So someone's either talked to the other groups or knows. So the answer is actually 52.
Hey!
And the reason there's 52 is there's 13 wheels on the train, there's 2 springs in each wheel. So a couple of facts about the vampire while you're here. You've been everywhere else at the moment, you know a lot about it, you probably know more about it than me, and I've been here 27.5 years. There's always someone that knows a little bit more. I'm not so enthusiastic about certain things. But we'll go for a couple of things. So the track is aerodynamics. Above your head there are 3 black items, the brakes. They're made by Vekoma. It's our first year of using Vekoma brakes. Vekoma make exactly identical brakes that fit with our riders as much as they fit on their coasters as well. In the station you may have noticed they were brown. If you went in the trim station you would have noticed some were brown, some were black. We are slowly changing to the Vekoma brakes. They're just newer, work exactly the same principle. Everything part is the same, but these are easier to maintain. We don't have to send them away to service them, we can do them ourselves in-house by changing the liners with nuts and bolts. The others before were riveted. So at the top, there's 3 air receivers. Someone else in the other teams noticed, why is the 4th one not got a receiver on there? Why is there a brake spare underneath? The original Arrow trains were heavier, they were shorter but heavier, so Arrow had 4 sets of brakes here. When Vekoma done the transition to where we are now, they only needed the 3. The trains are lighter, so they come in a little bit slower. We didn't need the 4th brake, so it was removed, and that's why we've only got 3. And on the end of the left-hand side of each unit, there's a little brass unit, that's a non-return valve. And the reason we have a receiver there is just so if anything goes wrong with the air, with local air, to make sure the brakes stay closed. The brakes are only open when there's a train there. They will not open at any other point, and we cannot force them to open if there's no train. The control system says the train can only come into a closed brake. So when you're riding, you sometimes hear it scrape. That is because the brakes are closed. The brake fin is going through the liners to slow the train down. The friction will slow it down. Once the train gets to a certain point of the track, either it stops dead or it's still moving because it's a nice warm day, it's still got the momentum, it flags that sensor, it says open the brakes, let the train transition further forward, then it'll engage on the sensor, will start the chain, the train will slowly glide in, engage, and once the train is engaged it will speed up the chain and take you up and over the lift. On the armature and 240 volts on the field. If you're into motors, it might be quite interesting. But these are DC. Very unusual now to use DC motors. Everything else on most of the newer rides is AC. You can get just as much torque out of an AC as the way we do it on this one. And certain sensors you can see, the sensors are always left on. We don't turn the ride off at night. The reason we leave it on, everything stays warm. Moisture at night, you don't want to draw it in as it's cooling down, even though they're IP rated. Keep everything on, lasts a lot longer. You don't turn electrically on and off all the time. So as you go up the lift as well, you'll notice anti-rollbacks. How many anti-rollbacks do you think there are on lift 2? No?
50.
No. 41. And there's 31 on lift 1. And also behind you over there, there's 2 on the track. They are actually up at the moment. We only use those and put them down for testing. So when we've done our winter maintenance, just because the train has now been put back together, things are brand new, they may not be spinning as fast, we will put those down so if the train comes in slowly, it doesn't roll backwards into the field over there. And on the lift at the top over, behind the lift, you've got the 2 there on the exit of the tunnel. They are up as well. We will only lower those during our test period after the winter maintenance has happened. Again, we don't want it to stop in the tunnel because it's more difficult to recover. But we put them up because we don't want it to get stuck up there with guests on. That would be a disaster trying to get people from there out. And it has never happened. We've never had a rollback on this ride with guests on the train. Yes, we're not going to lie, we've seen it, people know on social media, it has happened, it's rolled in the tunnel during testing, and we recover it. And that's why there's a winch over there. The yellow lights over there, the winch is bolted to the floor, and there was one with the arrow system as well. The winch was in here for all the years back then. We have a new rope system to the wire, but it's the same thing, so if the train gets stuck anywhere, how are you going to get it? You're going to have to pull it. Same in the station, did they explain how we take the trains on and off? We use winches. It's an older ride, we haven't got booster motors on this like all the newer coasters. So when we want to take our trains off, we will winch them back slowly. And then when we want to put them back on, no winch, just release the brakes and they will slowly come back into the station. So yes, it's an older ride, so things are older systems as well for recovery. On other coasters, when they get stuck, you have to get a crane or something like that to take on repair. We can virtually get them all the way back with other winches. Very, very frequent, but mainly after testing. So as you go around, look at the track as well, especially in the tunnel. You can see this is an arrow track. The backbones are slightly different. Some are wider here, and as you go in the tunnel, they're slightly narrower. They're still made by Arrow, just different track because partly replaced at different times. In the little shed, I've turned it off now, luckily it's not so noisy. The air system over here is run by the compressor at this location. The station is an independent compressor as well. Would it have been easier to have one compressor run the whole lot? Made no difference. It's easier here. If we have a compressor fault, we'll just put a new compressor in. And the compressor here does them 3 brakes and the airbag at the top. You can't really see it, but there's an airbag up there and it's fan. It's on the arm, and on the top you've got a sprocket that tensions the chain. So as the train comes in, sometimes you might hit like clank, bang, and it's just taking up the slack of the train as it comes in. It's always under tension, and then the train will go up the lift as well. Any other questions?
Is anyone else expecting to climb up there? Or I just yeah, I thought we might go up.
Okay. So has anyone got photo epilepsy before we start? I've just got to double check. Everyone's all good, yeah?
Yep.
We're going to do a tester just to show you how bright it is. When you're doing the photo, you've got to look at this camera here. Do not look up there. Otherwise you won't be able to see for the rest of the day. for the rest of the evening.
When we test it out, please don't look directly into
Yeah, so you'll see
flash.
kind of how bright, just so you're used to it. If you want to give it a go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Go right.
So we're going to take it in your groups. If you want to do it in your groups, come down here. We'll take a photo each.
A great idea.
A ride photo.
Right. Honestly, one experience.
Brilliant.
So yeah, look at that one. Ready? Ready?
Oh, okay.
3, 2, 1.
It's going to take a whole train's worth every time, isn't it?
I'll say now.
They told you where to look.
Oh, I can show you this as well. If you stand like right up next to the rocks,
See the laser.
shining directly at me. There's a little white. Let me get a torch. There's a little white piece of tape.
There you go.
A little red dot. That's the laser. When that gets broken, it gets set off. If you guys just want to go a bit more down
Yeah, if you can
there.
head down there.
Wait there. Just wait there. There's big rock.
So that's why
Next group.
hit the centre.
Just a one.
Yes,
So, yeah, just that camera there.
Yeah, not the one up above.
Not
Yeah.
the one there. So if you just stand around on this bit here,
Yeah.
she'll get you in there. There you go, that one.
Right, I'm not looking.
Alright, 3,
Yeah.
2, 1.
I'm still blinded even when you don't look.
Yeah, same.
Oh, fucking hell.
Right, next one, let's come down.
Look into the light.
Don't look into the lights.
So yeah, just here. So if you like to stand back here,
I can stand there.
yeah, on this bit here, just there. See that camera there.